all want to see is George Best. And this Spurs side knows well enough the damage he can do. Spurs with Phil Beale back at number 6 after injury. As for Manchester United, well, this side's unchanged for the 4th time. Best may have missed training and the team's trained to London on Friday night, but all is forgiven now. So Best above all is the main attraction, and the crowd is 55,000 strong, the biggest of the day. And in that crowd is the England manager, Sir Alf Ramsey.
So Manchester United in their familiar red, defending the goal to our left, get us away, and what a following they have. They're lying 15th in the First Division and having a fairly nondescript season, and yet over 2 hours before the start of this game, queues were ringing White Hart Lane 60. Now it's Chivers, and really United facing a challenge. Here's Best, wanting 1 goal for his 100 in the league. Fitzpatrick to Law, and now to Willie Watson, the new face in this United side. Law again, shaking off Peters and finding Best. A little shimmy that tries to put him past Perryman. Throw to Manchester United, and the referee today, Ray Tinkler from Boston, on the league list since 1961. Perryman in very quickly. Chivers. A lot of rain on this pitch in the last fortnight, and already showing those telltale signs of wear with sawdust in the middle, or sand. Peters now to Knowles. Chivers, Fitzpatrick and Kidd. Bobby Charlton, who scored such a fantastic goal here 3 years ago, running half the length of the pitch, beating almost the entire Spurs side, but giving it there quite nicely to Kinnear. Now it's Gilzine again. John Aston forcing himself on the scene there and giving away the free kick. Now it's Knowles. Peters trying to get ahead to that one. Mullery closing in fast. Kinnear looking for it on the far side, but in fact it's the other full-back now, Knowles. Perryman. Oh, a poor one there by Perryman. Straight to Brian Kidd. Best right up ahead of him. Beale back in this side, watching him closely. And a long cross ball for Law, but cut out beautifully by Cyril Knowles. Spurs coming away at pace and in force. Checked by Fitzpatrick. Jimmy Pearce settled his differences with the club this week and has signed a new contract. And well, there's a cross there towards the far post, and a goal kick to Manchester United. Where Chivers might try a long one. And there it is, England right up there. Rimmer to use his fists, and it's coming through now to Chivers again, with time to tee it up. Pushed away once more. Perryman, so much pressure on Manchester United. Knowles. Peters looking for it. England is right in there as well. Done only as far as Gilzine, just past. And United in the most terrible tangle in defence, and nobody at the back there to organise them. But in fact it was a free kick. Looking for Chivers, but it must have been a foul by Steve James, the number 5 on Chivers, because it's a free kick for Spurs. In a position exactly where I would imagine Knowles would turn another one into that penalty area. Gilzine looking for it and getting ahead to it, just past Rimmer's post. Fine jump by Gilzine. He had 2 men marking him and he still got above them. Five Spurs players back in a line strung across the edge of that penalty area. Now Kidd turns it in towards Bobby Charlton. Beale not getting it very far. It's Fitzpatrick. Charged down by Mullery. And Spurs off on another assault. Gilzine. Held it too long. And Sadler who brings it away. United's throw. Oh, Best in a bit of space. Beale jogging alongside him. Kidd has made the burst, and a good burst too. Perryman right back, and a corner to Manchester United. Looks as though Kidd's in trouble. from the challenge by Steve Perryman, but a perfectly fair challenge by Perryman, it looked. A desperate one, certainly, because Kidd was right through in that penalty area. The referee has taken Kidd off the field and says that the treatment must continue there. And so, Bobby Charlton with the corner for Manchester United. And it's pushed away and over the line, says the linesman, and the goal is given, and it's Sadler who has scored it. No, not given. Not given. It was a push, says the referee. The goal is not given. Well, there looked to be a misunderstanding there between the linesman and the referee. It looked as though he'd given it, but there was an infringement on the line. Wilf McGuinness, I think, must have been a little disappointed that the goal he thought had been given and then it wasn't. Bobby Charlton. John Aston, number 11, and Knowles watching him. Kidd looking for that one, and Law! There it is by Dennis Law! Well, would you believe it? For 30 minutes they're outclassed, and then in a flash, Law puts Manchester United in front. What an astonishing turnabout, but what a superb piece of opportunism by Dennis Law. Nobody can doubt that Dennis Law, 8 seasons at Manchester United, they really have been 8 most exciting seasons for everybody who's watched him. Knowles now to Pearce, as Spurs storm back, and Chivers almost putting it through. What a save though by Rimmer to get down as quickly as that. From Chivers. For Mallory again, and Knowles once more. Aim towards Chivers and Gilzean, and Chivers going in on it, Gilzean! Oh, what a save by Rimmer! How did he keep that out? That looked the merest formality for Gilzean from 2 yards, and no wonder that United players are going across to thump him on the back. Now Knowles turning it across again, and a goal kick. Well, I think there must certainly be a certain mystery in the south as to why Alex Stepney can't get back into that Manchester United side. And I think a moment ago we had one of the answers. That really was a superlative save by young Jimmy Rimmer. England up again. Perryman bursting in on the scene. Mullery there too. And so is Kidd to Bobby Charlton. Dennis Law. Tony Dunn tempted to put it back, I think, but then found that Chivers was right back as well. As the whistle goes for the end of a first half that sees Dennis Law having put Manchester United ahead when it could so easily have been Spurs 2 or 3 ahead by the time that he did it. So Spurs get away in the second half, now defending the goal to our left. United obviously kept buoyant in that first half by some superlative goalkeeping by young Jimmy Rimmer. Now it's Pearce. The pressure already on United again. Peeler's looking for it, but Fitzpatrick to Aston. Short ball to Bobby Charlton. And now to George Best. Peters snapping at him, and after the ball had gone, Best, I suppose, probably takes more wear and tear on his body in the course of a season than most footballers. The ball. Fair bit of pushing and bumping and firing there between Chivers and Steve James, and Chivers adjudged the guilty one, backing in. And so it's going to be David Sadler, who began his career as an amateur with Maidstone United. Philip Beale. Now Kinnear. Not the best of passes from Watson. Mullery. Oh, another good one by Mullery as well, straight to Aston. Kidd. Law. Brian Kidd. To George Best. Fitzpatrick. Best going in on it. Best! Oh, beautifully taken by Best! What a magnificent goal by Best! What a magnificent goal that destroyed that Tottenham defence. He started it off and then took it beautifully on his body round that Spurs defence and made it number 2. Well, that's George's 7th goal of the season. It makes him the top scorer for Manchester United. Cyril Knowles. Chivers looking to make a run towards it, but in fact it's Perryman now. Pearce, Knowles again with a chance to lift it once more. Peters waiting at that far side, getting it in! Martin Peters! 2-1! Well, that really does open it up again. Knowles for the umpteenth time putting it across that Manchester United goal mouth, and there, lifting himself above the ruck, Martin Peters, to make it 2-1. One that even Jimmy Rimmer couldn't stop. Brian Kidd with the throw. Aston. And Kidd with a tremendous shot. Charged away as far as David Sadler. Turning another one in, just over that bar. Pushed there, tipped there, delicately by Pat Jennings from David Sadler. Number 6. Now to Kinnear. United really trapped now in their own half of the field, but Law finding Rimmer. Bobby Charlton now. Best and Kidd ahead of him. And Fitzpatrick surging forward too. And Best is through, but he's offside. He's offside. And the linesman had his flag up as soon as that pass was made. Mike England with the kick. Crowd, I think, claiming that Chivers was pushed again there by James, but it's Spurs in possession once more, and they're very intelligently spreading this game out as wide as they can. Now it's Knowles turning it in. Oh, Gilzean! 2-2! What a goal by Gilzean! Oh, and what a comeback by Tottenham! Again, the cross from the left. And again, Gilzean, with that head of his to flick it wide of Rimmer. And so from 2 down, it now stands at 2-2. Perryman to Kinnear. And pushed away by Aston. And it's all very well for Fitzpatrick to show his annoyance at the linesman, but it wasn't the linesman who threw Kinnear over. And most certainly it was a foul, and most certainly it is a free kick to Tottenham. Mullery wanting Aston to go back 10 yards. The linesman ignoring him. Mullery putting it hard. Gilzean! Oh, good work by Rimmer. Angry that Gilzean wasn't covered by his defence. And still that pressure on Manchester United. Chivers. Pearce to Mullery. Wide there for Knowles. This is where the goals have come from. And across that goal, and just past that post, as the crowd tumbles down behind it, and it needed the merest touch to make it 3-2 to Tottenham. Knowles. Pearce, neatly slipping it inside. Perryman, a beautiful ball by Perryman to Knowles. And now there are plenty of white men waiting for it amongst the Peters. And Gilzean! Oh, just passed off the knees of Chivers. That came off his knees and fractionally past the post. Tony Dunn, but only Kinnear there. Mallory. And now to Knowles. This is where Spurs goals have come from. Will they, in the last few seconds, come for the winner? As Gilzean puts it in, and Peters goes in! Oh, and Rimmer losing it for one moment with his heart fluttering. Sadler. And England up as Kidd was backing in on him. Mallory in very quickly before Charlton could take advantage of it. Beale to Knowles. The very last seconds now. Chivers again trying to get away from the defence. Knowles once more. And now England. One last crisis for this United defence to weather. No, they won't have to, because the final whistle has gone, and a really magnificent game it's been. Dennis Law, the scorer of the first goal. George Best, the scorer of the United goal, and it seemed to be safe for them. And then in the Spurs comeback, Martin Peters scored the first goal, and the second one, of course, by Alan Gilzean. The final score then at White Hart Lane, with the children on the pitch. Spurs 2, Manchester United 2.